is it the 69th?
Yep. Finally.
Okay, so the 69th Whaleshares Curation Show. As we all know, Linda gave him a notice last week. So this week we've got the inimitable Snecky, who I think is probably the greatest curator known to Whaleshares, and perhaps Steam It as well. I don't know of a better curator, so I'm expecting good things from her. She picks fantastic posts. So she is doing 2 posts today. Obviously, we've got Breeze and Cochrane as well. We will have the Guess the Flesh competition. I think all participants have been paid so far. The winner, Benny, was it Benny was the winner? He got it right. I'm going to talk to him to see how he wants to be paid. But anyway, we'll do another one of those. And what else? Oh, yes. Okay, so I'll just explain that my neighbour's trees touch my electricity line, and they haven't cut them because they've got a complicated family situation. So sometimes my internet goes out. So if it does, I haven't just logged off or anything. So just Breeze or Cox will take over, something like that. But we'll get through it. Anyway, you can all hear me? Oh yes, and Mo is here. Okay, so this week, Snecky stepped in, which was very, very gracious and kind of her, because I know she's busy. Next week, we're taking on Mo as the weekly curator. So she's listening in to see how we do things. Mo, are you able to get on the mic? She's probably setting up her mic. Anyway, you have a chat to us in a bit if you can, or if you'd like to. Are you there, Mo?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Hi, everyone.
Are you looking forward to joining us?
Yeah, kind of nervous about it though, but yeah, I am.
But you've broadcast before, haven't you? You do a Nigerian stroke African show somewhere else, is that right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you'll be fine, I'm sure. And you'll just see how it's pretty informal. Basically, each week I make it up as we go along, and we curate some posts, and that's it. So you don't need to be too worried.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Nick.
No problems. Okay, why don't we go to our first post? Shall we go to Cochrane? I think that's a good idea.
Sure. Let me grab the link. All right, this is my first pick, and this is from kind of new photographer in Whaleshares. I don't remember how long ago they joined, like he joined, but I think he's kind of fresh, maybe just like a couple months, something like that. And I don't recall like talking to him in Discord or anything like that, but I follow him, and he usually posts a lot of like really breathtaking landscape pictures. Like he has so many photos of northern lights, so I love those. But those I would have picked those, but they're not recent. But this is a place in Thailand, this waterfall, and it is called, I cannot pronounce the first word. I should have consulted Google, but I didn't. But anyways, the name of it is actually a three-headed white elephant, and it's a creature from Hindu mythology. So the waterfall was named after it, and yeah, you can see that these are very nice, creative photographs. And he usually hardly gets like payouts that are over 100 Whaleshares. Like he has some people supporting him, like usually from photography community kind of thing. But yeah, I thought I would introduce you guys to him.
I'm just having a look. My internet was a bit slow. If anyone else has got an opinion, please jump in.
It's my dream to do something like this.
You should. Thailand is pretty cheap if you want to go there. So sure, you will have a lot of good time.
Yeah, but the flight is expensive.
Yeah, the flight is expensive, but you will be flying from Europe, so it's probably not as expensive as it will be for me from United States, for instance. So
These photos are absolutely inviting, to say the least. I love the information that he drops on before he drops the photos. And then the waterfall itself. We have had such a hot and humid day today. I don't think there's any place that I would rather be than there right now, or someplace similar. I often go chasing waterfalls in Limpopo, and we've got some really beautiful ones. And capturing them on camera, however, I never get to do them proper justice. So I take my hat off for this guy for getting such a nice shot of a waterfall.
I'm with Breeze. I would love to be there right now, to stand under it naked and to let it wash all over me. It's wonderful pictures, and he's asking in the post which one we prefer, and I would say I would prefer the one with the people on it because it gives a nice message how big it is and stuff. But the first one is amazing because it looks so like it's in a fantasy world.
Snack, would you wear a bikini or would you jump in naked?
Naked.
Naked, definitely.
Well, I would go naked as well. Cot, would you come in naked with us?
I would go naked, but not with you guys.
Okay, spoil. Well, anyway, it looks like an awesome post. Well done, good choice. Also, how do you get that? I guess you use a slow shutter speed to get the water to look like that, and yet the people are not blurred. Is that just a trial and error thing to match the two movements so you get a good picture, or is there more to it than that?
I think to capture like the flow, you have to go with like really a long exposure, like slow shutter speed, just like you said. But the shutter speed, like in the second picture, you can tell that it's like a bit faster because the water doesn't look as smooth as in the first photo because people are there. And another thing you can do is just like take two pictures and Photoshop one on top of the other and just like have people in it. But I don't think this is what happened with this. I just like think he took two separate photos.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, I've just had a realization. Maybe Cot, you would go in naked if it was just Breeze and Snecky, and if I wasn't there, which I think would be fair enough.
I think it's probably me and Snecky that scares her the most.
No. I would go naked with my husband, but I don't want to go naked with other people.
Will be me, Mr. Popo.
Well, anyway, let's move on. Silliness. Okay, great post. Well selected. Shall we do some guess the flesh pictures now?
Sure. I actually have received the photo even before you announced it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me tell everybody how it works first. This recent competition was won by Benny, so he's going to get quite a lot of tokens for upvotes. And what happens is each week, people on the show send in pictures of parts of their body, nothing explicit, but you send them in anonymously. You get some tokens for doing that. I think upvotes, erotics tokens worth or equivalent worth about 25 or 30 Whaleshares. And that's just for participating. If you guess right, you get a lot more. And at the end of the show, we make a collage of all the pictures, and then I put a post up, and you can guess on that. So it's a good extra way to make a little bit of a bonus. So okay, let's see the first guess the flesh picture, Cot.
Nothing spectacular, just a hand.
Yes, no, that's an interesting hand. Okay, who might that hand belong to? So ponder. You don't need to tell anybody in the show because things will get all confused then, and you don't want to give people special advantages. Okay, so why don't we go on to the second post? Why we could go to Breeze, couldn't we?
Sure.
Absolutely. I thought you were going to go for Snecky, give her a nice little sandwich in the middle kind of spot to present a post. But I'm good. I'm good. I can do this. Give me a second. If I come across as what?
Sorry, I was just going to tell Mo something. Mo, you send the pictures to Curration, and she will, as she gets them, send them, post them up here, or maybe in between posts, put them up here. But yeah, send them in, and you'll get a little extra reward. Sorry, Breeze, back to you.
No, I was just saying, if I do sound a little bit, dear mekaar, my power just came on literally 10 minutes before the show, so I didn't have a lot of time to prep or think things through. So I'm a bit scattered today. It's been an interesting week. Okay, so for my first post, I got a nice little introduction post. I love these. I love welcoming new people onto the platform, seeing how we can, find a community that best suits their needs and grants them the best exposure. And in this case, this account called A.E. Jackson is focused on fiction writing, which is I think we've got such a great group of writing community members in this chat on a regular basis, and I thought I'd grant him a little bit of exposure and see if we can get him a decent warm welcome. The post already has a little bit of upvotes on it, but it's for an introduction post. It's still hellishly low. If nothing else, I give this guy 10 points for enthusiasm and also being quite precise. Savo, go home. You're drunk. So yeah, just looking at this post, one thing that he mentioned in the comments was someone said that it was strange that he typed the post in a third person. But then he noted that, he hates referring to himself, like doing a post where it says I. And I can completely relate to that. So he's quite detail orientated and seems like an interesting character to have on the platform. So I'm delighted to have him here and interested to see what he brings to the table in the future.
I've got some input on this third-person thing. Okay, it's actually used quite a lot in literary circles. For example, Hemingway wrote his last chapter of an autobiographical novel in the third person. Fiesta, which is set in mostly in Spain and the south of France. It's a great book, but yeah, in the last chapter or last couple of chapters, he starts talking about he instead of me. And sometimes it can be useful. And Salman Rushdie, who's probably the most critically acclaimed writer alive today, whether you like him or not, he wrote his whole autobiography in the third person and gave himself a new name for it, just so he could have that distance from continually writing I. So I think it's quite a normal thing to do, really. But yeah, it's a great post. He's really enthusiastic. If he's learned to fly in a plane like that, he's obviously got his shit together. So we need people like that. So great selection, Breeze.
Snaky Carts, anything from your side?
Oh yeah, I am well. Sorry, I had my mouth full, but here I am. I like the third person writing. It's refreshing to see someone write an introduction post this way. I am normally writing first person like all the time, except when I write stories, it's always third. So I prefer third anyways, and then I prefer first anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. I like welcoming new people to the platform just as much as you do, so I think it's a good pick because new people need attention.
You're absolutely right. We all should vote or at least upshare every new post in a new section, I believe, because that will encourage all the new people, and when new people will be encouraged, yeah, you got the same effect as what we all had as well, you know, when we all joined the streaming platform, for instance. How awesome was it when you all of a sudden got like 10 or 20 upvotes, right? And when people get to the platform and they post their first stuff, even though if it's a question like I did, my first post on Steam, it was just a question, you know. But if this gets rewarded, you know, people will instantly become ambassadors of the platform, right? Because they think, "Whoa, you get shared, you get valued. How awesome is this?" And we all should do this. Am I wrong, or?
No, you're right. But at the same time, I don't think, honestly, like just going in, finding a new guy, upsharing it, you know, it's great, but it doesn't quite cut the cake, you know. I think just going up to guys saying like, hey, my door's open if you need anything. Hey, how can I help you? Listen, yeah, I see you interested in planes. Have you met so-and-so that's like huge in the planing community, you know? Just like welcome someone. It's like a stranger walking into a party, you know? Go out, introduce him to people, show him around, show him the house, show him the facilities. I think that serves as a lot more warm welcome, and not everyone does have time to do that, but I would love to encourage someone today, you know, put it out there, make it a challenge. Everyone just go find someone new and give them a warm welcome instead of just an upvote. Although upvotes really do serve their purpose as well. I'm not cutting that short.
I do welcome people to the platform occasionally, not very often. I'm not sure. I think that introduce yourself or something like that is not like one of the most popular tags anymore. I might be wrong, but I remember that it quit being one of the most popular tags. Like it wouldn't show up in the column. So that kind of where I would usually get the idea to go check out new people. But anyways, I see that this person is involved in a lot of projects on Steemit and Free Ride House and Utopian and Writer's Block. So I can see that he's very experienced when it comes to like writing, curation, and working with people. So I'm sure he will fit in just fine on Whaleshares and meet a lot of people he already knows.
So Snaky, can he come with to our waterfall?
Yep.
If he's going in naked, I'm less keen on going in naked now.
Oh, come on, Nick. It's just a little worm.
You know what they say about guys with big planes.
Oh my God, who's this? Oh,
look, there's some flesh there. There's a toe. That looks like a girl's toe. Quite a pretty toe. And what's that? That's a hand. Oh, interesting. So we've got 3 bits of flesh now. Big worms. Yes. just hanging around naked with naked men, especially bearded naked men. It's just, I'm not so sure about it. Maybe I'll go in
bist du
first.
schwul oder was? Bist du ein Schwul oder was?
I can't speak German. But anyway, okay. We will put the swimming question aside. All right. So we are at the halfway point now. I should announce that Breeze, who's obviously some sort of mad attention seeker, is now going to be doing another show this week. Not content with one on Mondays and on Sundays. Tell us about your next show, Breeze.
Mad attention seeker, you say? I love being steamrolled into that role. But we'll be doing a show that's focused on post-presentation on Wednesdays that I'm really looking forward to. where you get to share someone else on the platform. You know, it's like finding that altruistic appeal, and finding someone else's post that you would like to promote a little bit, and then get rewarded for that. You know, getting rewarded for being a good person doesn't seem all that bad now, does it?
I guess it's a little bit like doing what we do, isn't it? Become a curator for other people, and it can help people. You know, if people are a little bit mic shy, you can get a little bit exposure. You know, talk for 1 or 2 minutes about someone else's post. It's probably easier to do than talking about your own post as well.
Absolutely, and it also helps like expose little hidden gems, because I'm sure Snecky can, and you yourself can agree with me on this. Like, going through the post, finding little hidden gems is not the easiest task out there. But if you get many people like looking for good, undervalued content posts, that's worth sharing, it not only gives you a good idea of what the community looks for when they are looking for a post, which also gives you a clearer indication of or guidelines on improvements on your own posts, or what you could add. You know, it just opens so many different doors. And having a handful of people out there looking for other posts to curate and putting it out there, giving them some exposure, it's going to do the platform a world of good.
And it will also, I should mention, it's going to be on the Scribble Guild server. So we're trying to get a lot more people on there as well. So yeah, another show on Wednesday. How many more shows do you think you'll do, Breeze? I could see you doing like 1 a day and 2 a day, and on some particular days.
No, I think I've reached quota about like 3 shows ago.
No, I should explain. I'm teasing. No, Breeze has stepped in because Linda withdrew at the last moment, and we really needed a show on Scribble Guild. So she was kind enough to offer her, well, to accept when I offered or asked her to help. So she's been very kind. So yeah, great stuff. And let's move on to Cotterin's next post. How about that?
What?
Oh, did we miss you, Snecky? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's because you were talkative about the waterfall. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, that was the skinny dipping post. That was yours. Okay. Sorry, Snecky. Your first post.
I don't have a post. Oh my god. I'm gone. I'm out of here. No, just kidding. So I picked this post. It's written by Janine. It's a Dutch post, so most people will probably not have a clue what it's about unless you read the title. It's a chat about J.J. Hemp, or, you know, Jack Johannes Hemp, who has sadly left us all and made his way into heaven last week. And in this post, she shares a lot of love for a person we all have to miss. And, you know, Jack was a well-known artist and a very loved person on and off the blockchain. And this post is more about off the blockchain. In this post, you can find a video, 2 videos made by his niece, the daughter of his sister, where they leave up balloons with texts on them. And she asked permission, by the way, to share that video. And yeah, a little bit further in the post, you can also see a few pictures shared on Facebook by his real life friends. One of them I had a long conversation with as well, with street art sidewalk chalk. And yeah, I just wanted to share this post because it's full of emotions, full of, you know, we are all missing him, and I couldn't not pick this post.
Yeah, it's sad to see it. It was a shock to all of us. It was even more of a shock to know he was only 45. Is that right?
Yeah, he was only 45, and yeah, he was found in his bed by his mom and the person he was living with. He shared a house with, but they were not a couple. And yeah, he was found in his bed and looking very peaceful. It's also written in this post that he was as if he was sleeping very contently. So probably didn't notice anything happening to him at all. So that's a good thing in my eyes. And yeah. It's way too soon. I mean, 45, and it also makes you realize that life is endless. You don't know when it's your time, and it's a good thing that you don't know when it's your time. But Jack was full of life. He was going to move. He was going to have a little gallery in his home, and he was very excited about it. Yeah, he wanted everybody to know him from his art. I had a long conversation with him for the artist post that I made that he never got to see because I didn't work hard enough. But it's out there now, and yeah, the street art. I really hope that people will, if you want to remember him, get up some sidewalk chalk and just draw his name and put some nice flowers on it. He loved to call all the ladies bloom. It's flower in English. And yeah, I just love this post because it shows, her feelings about her friend and what she went through this week.
And Jack, I know Jack since 2017. He was one of the first guys I ever met online, with the Dutch community. He was big and everybody knew him. Man, is passing away. Yeah, sorry. It really struck me, I knew him early as a good friend, We had our ups and downs, but Jack was always, yeah, he was a great guy, man, really. He helped me a lot, and we helped each other a lot, and yeah, I don't know how to say, he's passing away so suddenly. Yeah, I only knew since Tuesday, since Thursday actually, about his passing away. But yeah, man, we will miss him, man. I mean, a few months ago I was in Belgium and we had talks, and he said, yeah, if you come near Ghent, then call me, and we drink a beer. And I was actually near Ghent, but I didn't go to his place, And now I regret that super hard, but yeah, he was a great guy, man. He was really a great guy. Yeah, Jack was an awesome guy.
Yeah, for sure. We were speaking about this extensively on last night's show as well, and I said that we don't expect people we meet on the blockchain to have the impact on our lives that they do. And it this is the second friend that I've lost very unexpectedly on the blockchain over a very short time period. And it affects us really, really deeply. But I hold by what I said and that was that if anything we can learn from Jack is to live in the moment, in the day, and be the best person that you can be in that moment. One thing, Snecky, that I noted on this post was the candle. There's a memorial candle. I think it's the last picture on the post. And it says something that we all know here. And it just goes to show that online and offline, we're talking about the same guy, right? Because the candle says basically boobs, booze, and drugs, and that's his three favorite things. And that is one thing that I'd remember from one of the last shows that we did with him, with Nick, when we were playing Guess the Person, I think it was, right, Nick? And that was the three things he stated, and we had to guess.
Yeah, boobs and weed was his passion, wasn't it?
Tieten, drank en drugs. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted
So
to
we
say
got
that, but I
Westlaw.
was
Oh,
I wanted
go
to
ahead.
say that, Snaky, but then I was so worried that I'd get the pronunciation wrong, so I thought, no, let me just stick to English.
He would have loved to hear you say it, though.
Okay, I can try. I can try. Tita, drank en drugs. See, Afrikaans helps me out.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, he's resting in peace now, and in consolation, he went in probably the nicest way to go, in your sleep. I remember him. I think he came. He might have been the person who came to the most of my shows. Certainly the very first ones, he was there, and he was always there. And we'd always talk afterwards. And yeah, he talked about, come to Ghent, come in the summer, drink some beers or something. And as time went on, I learnt more about him. And when I did something about the screenplay that I'm having to write, we both discovered that we both had an interest in film. I didn't know he was interested in film. He didn't know I was. So he used to send me recommendations. We'd talk about them, that kind of thing. So yeah, it is a real shock, because you don't prepare to lose a friend on the internet, and you don't prepare to think what it will be like and whether it will matter so much, I suppose. But then you realise, no, he was a real friend, and it's hit a lot of us quite hard. I think harder than we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Snakey, for choosing this post. Even though I don't understand it, I can feel and relate to it through the pictures that I saw, and like it's pretty lengthy. I can tell that the person, this lady, like she really cared for him. Um, Jack would always send me recommendations for video games, and he did send me one before he passed. I think it was right before he passed because I never responded to him the next day. I never got a reply, so I don't know. Made me feel really strange that he passed shortly after telling me which game I should play next, and I didn't get to talk to him about it.
Well, anyway, it's a nice roundup post, and I think it's a good selection.
I just want to share one more thing on that topic, right? You heard about Jack trolling Bug IQ's Google documents from the afterlife, right?
Yeah.
I did not hear about this. Tell us.
Okay, I'm going to be dropping the pictures, and Bug IQ can just quickly tell us a bit more about that.
Oh man, I better jump in. Okay, I thought you were going to do it. For anyone who's ever shared Google Docs, whenever you just grab a general link and you're not like authorizing an email to a specific email, but it's just a general sharing link you can give to anyone. Whenever that person jumps on the Google document, they just show up as an anonymous animal. It could be anything. And I was talking to Chucky and a couple other guys after I saw this, like people who really use Google Docs a lot, and they're very familiar with these little random animals that are assigned to people who log into the document. And I asked them, have you ever seen an anonymous jackalope? Every single one of them said, no, I've never seen an anonymous jackalope. I've seen a million other animals, but never a jackalope. And the very, very last revision of the big artist post that we did with all of Jack's questions and answers that Snecky and I did. This was the anonymous animal that Snecky signed into the document with, and Breeze has one more that proves it's the document, but there it is. Like, that is hysterical. And if you're an atheist, you can just like talk all day until your face is blue you need more faith than I do to say that this is explainable.
Maybe it's his final epic act of epic trolling.
Yeah, he's trolling me. I'm loving it. I think he was laughing his ass off personally. And he was so, if you read his post, he was absolutely connected to his computer. Like he loved his computer. And that was the one tool that he could not live without when you read through that post. And, you know, if it were possible for someone to give you a laugh from the afterlife, it would have been Jack. And this is exactly what he would have done, I think.
Yeah, you know, Jack, you know, he did so much also for the artist community as well, for the jukebox, man. Yeah, you know, I don't have words, man, but the guy was fucking awesome, man. Really.
He still is.
He still is. He still is. Thank you, man. And Buck, I want to thank you for his memorial post.
Yeah, we're gonna thank Snecky first, and then yes, I only remember eating breakfast, and that's the last thing I remembered while I translated all of the Dutch for the whole day, and then I finally remembered to eat about 14 hours later. But we wanted to get it out and up because Snecky worked really, really hard on it, and to be fair, Jack worked like a dog on that post. Like we wanted it to all be in Dutch and English, and it was just really special. The whole thing was special. Do we wish we had gotten it out a little sooner while Jack was still here? Absolutely, but we're not really questioning the universe's timing. Everything turned out pretty cool. You know, if he had to go, this was a great way.
I've just realised, Breeze, I think Jack did he make your image for your show? I don't know if he did, or maybe he didn't, but my previous image, remember the one we used to have? He definitely made that for us, the green one.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because my one show image I got from you, and the other one I got from Freedom. So I'm not 100% sure who the artists were behind that.
Okay, well, the previous one, the current one I've got was made by Meredith, but the previous one was made by Jack as well. And he just came and said, do you want an image? Sorry, cut.
I was saying I'm pretty sure he made both. You can see they're pretty similar.
He made the image for Freedom Show, I think, as well.
I could be wrong as well, Nick, but it would be a very near thing. I'm pretty sure that Jack's post, it may have been the record for trending. It was like 4 days kind of thing. So that was pretty special. I thank the community for doing that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome as well. Okay, well, that was a lovely choice, and we've had a nice chat about Jack. And this, I mean, we will slowly, hopefully, get some closure on this, but certainly he won't be forgotten by anyone here. We're going to remember him for the entire time we're here.
You know,
sorry, go on.
Life seems so short, man. Buck, you get your ass to the Netherlands, and you as well, Nick and Catherine. Let's chill and hang out here.
We're going to do some partying, aren't we? We need a whale fest, really, and then we can all meet up. And then at the whale fest, we can drink a toast to Jack. I think that would be a nice thing to do. Anyway, we've got to move on. Okay, Father to be has to go. He's got to go and test sausage rolls, which I think is an awesome job. And Greg's sausage rolls, which are pretty good in the UK. I think Stephen Wood does as well. They both sit at a table munching sausage rolls on a night shift. Anyway, see you later. See you later, Father to be. Right, let's move on to the next post. So we go back to Cochrane, I think.
I guess let me grab the link.
And in a bit, Bug, will you later you'll tell us about the show, and I'm also going to ask you about your the addition of IQ to your name, so you can tell us about that later.
What?
Well, you're not just the bug, you're the bug IQ.
Okay.
Is there any, do you have a specific reason for referencing your IQ? Is it very high? Is it very low? Tell us later.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be glad to explain.
Okay. This is my second post, and it's called "The Beginnings of a Portrait of Myself." So apparently, Nuffman's girlfriend Amanda Turner, she began to sketch a portrait of him, and in this, she's trying to depict him sitting by his computer. So you can see that in the look in his eyes, like he's like really focused on something. Um, I decided to choose this post because it's a recent post of his. I've seen quite a few of his posts previously, and he usually does a really good job on like very detailed explanation of everything he attends, and usually put so many photos in his post. It is ridiculous, but I decided to go with something smaller, in just this artwork post, because I think the lady is doing really amazing job, and the portrait is like very uh, realistic looking, because I've seen a lot of his photos, and this very well could be considered a picture too.
I am loving the detail in his eyes, and you know, that intent focus that you can expect from someone sitting in front of a computer. And his better half, as he states, really did a great job in capturing him, as you said. So much likeliness to his actual photos. Absolutely wonderful. I don't know. I'm sometimes a little bit jealous of people that are this artistic, and you know, but more in the sense of admiration. So yeah, I think this is gorgeous.
I really think it's amazing as well. He has shared his spouse or better half work before, and I really hope to see more of it. So I think this is great pick, because this is very difficult to make a drawing like that.
Isn't it impressive that people can, with pens and pencils and paper, make something that looks so good?
I think it's pretty impressive too. Like I love paintings and drawings, and I'm always so jealous whenever I see something and I know that I cannot do it. It probably would take me years to get somewhere, and I still wouldn't be as good as those people are. That's like really, I don't know, either it is talent or education or dedication or a combination of all three.
I have a comment. Check those eyes. Check those eyes in this picture here. And this nose. I mean, it's almost like a real picture, man. This is really something else, you know.
With that hair and that beard, he looks like the kind of guy who might listen to some hard or very hard rock, or even heavy metal.
Maybe he's not finished
Anyone
because
agree?
the hair is super white, but what he has drawn yet, you know, his nose and his eyes, especially his eyes. I mean, this is like Rembrandt, you know.
Yeah, it's a great bit of art. Well chosen, Cotrin. Nice. Do we have any more pictures?
No, just the one that I dropped in earlier.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell anyone, in case people have come to the chat late, we are having a Guess the Flesh competition. You send a picture of some part of your body, not explicit, so it can be a hand, a foot, a toe, an eye, an arm, something like that. A tattoo, people often send their tattoos in. You get paid the equivalent 50 erotics just for taking part, 50 erotics tokens, which upvotes you about 25 Whaleshares, I think. And then afterwards there'll be a post which will be for the competition, and if you win that you get a lot more. So if you want to enter, just send some sort of selfie of a bit of yourself to Cotrin, before the end of the show, and she will add it to the collage, and then we'll put it up at the end. Okay, let's go to Breeze for her next post.
Oh, hello. It is me again. I often come across posts that I like, and then every now and then I come across a post that I just absolutely fall in love with, and this was the case here. Elaz is a musician that happened to join the platform in September last year, and I got introduced to him yesterday. I did go through the rest of his blog, and he posts a lot of poetry and music posts as well. A lot of his music is focused on pop songs, which I am not a very big fan of in general. However, I do think that he does them justice. And he is just one of the fantastic gems that's come from Venezuela via the platform. In a way, I almost think that I'm, the one good thing that comes from the shits in Venezuela is the fact that it has driven so many people towards the platform. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily people that we wouldn't have here if it wasn't for that, but I am saying that, I think a lot more of them just came rushing to the platform and exposed us to the beauty that they managed to grow within a corrupt, really screwed up society, which serves not only as an inspiration, but just that little bit of motivation that you sometimes need when you think like, my life is shit, and you realize, you don't have it that bad, move on, chin up, buttercup, and all that shit. So I just wanted to throw in Elaz's post in this week's show, and get you guys to go have a listen, see if you like it, maybe show some support, because I just absolutely fell in love. He also did a little live performance on the show yesterday, which was completely unexpected for me and him, but he stepped up to the plate when I called him out, and just a lot of respect for that.
This is amazing. This is amazing, people. Buck, check it out. Check it out.
This song here?
No, this song here.
Oh, this song here. Okay.
I really love his voice. He sounds amazing.
He really does. And it's that nice little folky vibe to it. Authentic. He's not only just a standard, straightforward musician. I almost wanted to slap him when I found out that he's like covering pop songs. And I don't know. I know I shouldn't be judgmental on it, but at the same time, I just think, you're worth so much more. Don't sell your soul to Santa just yet, bro. He composes music. He does various different styles of music, including blues, folk, rock. So he's a multi-instrumentalist, if I'm not mistaken. But such talent, such amazing talent rolled into one. And, and then you go and cover pop songs, and I just want to go, yeah.
I think it. Go ahead, Snake.
Oh, I just wanted to reply to the whip sound, so go ahead, take it away.
I think this is a great choice, Bruce, and I haven't been checking out music on the platform in quite some time, so it's really refreshing to listen to a song on the show, because we haven't done it in a couple months or so, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the thing I enjoy about this post is that he translated the lyrics into English, and so people can understand what the song is about. Not a lot of people do that, or at least I don't know many people who do that. So I think this is really cool.
Absolutely. And I think with Nick's blessing, seeing that he's the one that rules us all, maybe if we can see to get him on the show, so that you guys can have a first-hand account of what he sounds like live, and just, get the full palette of flavor for this guy, because he's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. That would be fun.
I will let him on the show on the condition that he sings something by Justin Bieber, who
No, Nick,
is
Nick,
awesome.
Nick, I used to like you.
And Breeze, you need to harmonize with him during background. There's a really good Justin Bieber song. Let me think of it. I'll have a chat with him and we'll get him on, and we'll get you in the background. It's going to be awesome.
You just always have to take it one step too far, don't you?
Baby,
Anyway.
baby, baby, ooh, baby, 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 ooh, baby, baby.
Savo clearly has some stomach cramps or something there in the background. Can someone please get him some medical attention?
I was going to say they don't make them like that anymore, do they? That was from a classic time. We will never see.
Man. Justin Bieber just got his first pubes,
Such pop songs again. Anyway, yes, great post. Well done for selecting that, Breeze. Savo has just told me he's happy to give out some airplay tokens. So we're going to think of a way to dish some out. I'll probably do it at the end of the show. We can do that. So there's some extra bonuses. Also, you get some from Krista at the end. But why don't we jump?
Nick. I want everybody in this room to receive 100 airplay tokens.
Okay. Well, we can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to need 1,200 airplay tokens. Unless you're excluding yourself and me. If I don't get any, that's fair enough. Then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's a picture. Another picture.
Look at the people streaming in now. Someone said free tokens. Woohoo!
What was I going to say? Seba, that's great of you. What I'm going to do is send the ones that you've sent me back to you, because I won't be able to send them all. But what you can do, people, if you're listening, if you're in here, send your BitShares address to Servo, and he's going to send you 100 airplay tokens.
Yeah, send them to Popo. Yeah, send your BitShares address to me in the DM. Yeah.
And then you're going to get some tokens. Awesome. So now we go to what was I going to say? I think the last post, Snecky's post.
Oh, there's one more post? Kidding. I picked this post because I thought Nick would like it. I am not very good at curating posts that are focusing on writing. It's not one of my best skills, and I don't mind that. I have my own skills. But this one spoke to me because he totally turned the plot around. The first part of the post is from a contest. It's written by someone else. And then you have to finish the story or make the next part. And he chose to take the whole thing to another level and make it about another person. And I have to say that reading his words really impressed me. Now, like I said, it's not something I curate normally, but I think it's written in a very nice way. And that's why I chose it, because one, it's very low on payout. I have not voted on it yet either, because I wanted people to see how low it was. It's like 5 something VLS. So yeah, I hope that you guys will give it a read, and perhaps you will like it just as much as me, so you will follow him.
I'm just taking a look now. 1 second.
I just started reading myself, but I love the tone setting that he puts in there. You know, you almost placed into the story with his descriptive way of setting the tone and the backdrop for the story. Sadly, I think this is not something that I would be able to read fully throughout the show just quickly, but I would like to share it and go through it after the show, definitely.
I found it very short as well. It had to be longer, you know, because it kept begging me to read more, but it wasn't more. It's long enough though for a post, but I wish it was longer for some reason.
It's hard to give feedback on writing in the real time that we have, which is not enough time. But this looks like a good quality piece. So I'm going to take a look at this, and then in a bit I'm going to show you something else if you're interested in writing, which might be an option for people. Now Katrin, I guess, is busy with her collage for the competition. So it's too late to enter the Guess the Flesh now. Let me just show you something which, if you're a writer, might interest you. So this is an example of the Laureate Drill Blast, which the Laureate account is part of Scribble Guild, and we'll be launching a competition that I've talked about, short story competitions with celebrity judges. But at present, to build the stake and to build the community and to do various other things, I'm running something called a Drill Blast. So if you've got the time, what you can do is you can open that post and you can read it, and you can see that the little voice, who is a good writer, has written a piece following certain guidelines. And then what happens when you do that, eventually, because I'm quite slow with my turnaround, you will get a critique of the piece of writing, and you'll get suggestions, and you get told what's good, what can make it better. And so this is something that I think if you're an improving writer or someone who wants to improve, it's really worthwhile. And instead of me like talking about photos and things and music that I don't really understand, this kind of stuff like textual analysis is my métier. You know, it's what I'm probably best at. So hopefully it would be a positive thing. I've done a few now. I've got Mo has entered, I know. Vivian has entered. And Isaria is talking about entering, though she's wavering because she thinks it won't be good enough. The point is, even if it's dreadful, you get some pointers, and then you get to rewriting as well. So it's doesn't matter if it's dreadful. The whole point of starting stuff and improving is that you're always dreadful. Imagine learning to swim. When you jump in the pool, you're not going to be a fish to start with. Your arms will be flailing. It will be a total mess. But after a few lengths, the teacher will say, look, why don't you do this, this, and this? And suddenly you've got better. That is the principle that I'm trying to use with Laureate. So if you're interested, please have a go, because we're hoping to get really good results with this. But yeah, excellent choice of a piece of writing, Snecky. I'm going to try and get this person into Scribble Guild as well. And it's nice to maybe do you know this person?
No,
The post is huge, man. Huge post. Huge.
No, I don't know him, but I think Mo react that she know him from Steam It already. So I think he's been writing for a long time. Oh, and Asaria curate him, yeah. Oh, and Vivian knows him.
Yeah, I've curated quite a number of his posts on Steam It. He is incredible. He should join Scribble Guild.
Excellent. Well, let's try and get him involved. because then we've got people more locked into Whaleshares as well. And I don't think people realise how good the rewards are at present. You know, we're in the early stages. We can give all sorts of upvotes here. Yeah, do that, Vivian. I'd be really grateful. But anyway, sorry, so I didn't mean to hijack it back to me. But yeah, it's an interesting looking post. I'm gonna look at the writing a bit more, and I'm excited about it. I think that's it, isn't it? Is that almost it? I wonder how Cot's doing with her collage.
I'm still working on it.
Okay. So anyway, there's some rewards.
You were also asking Bug about his IQ.
Oh yes, Bug, come on, Mike. Tell us about your show that's starting. Yours and Snecky's show that's starting a bit later, and why you've got such a tremendously high IQ.
We could do that. Do you want a song intermission before we do that while Katrin's putting together that thing?
Oh!
Sure. Yes, do it. Hey, will you sing? Do you remember my request?
No, I've got this one planned today. I think it's kind of in honor of Jack.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Savo, I love you, but please don't put a beat behind this. It's just hallelujah. I think I'll just do kind of a softer version of it. Just Well, I've heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Sorry.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So we're going to just move on to my Bug IQ name, Nick.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Bug.
Wow, dude, that's just so wrong. I'm sorry. I was just trying to do something in honor of Jack.
Yes, I know you're sorry because you're from Canada, but I'm sorry.
I'll carry on if you want me to.
You're the man, Bug. Let's go for it.
Carry on, Bug.
It's Nick's show. All right. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. And she tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne and cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe I've been here before, I've seen this room, I've walked this floor. You used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. There was a time you let me know what's real and going on below, but now you never show it to me, do you? But remember When I moved in you, the only die was moving to, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Maybe there's a God above. All I ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. And it's not a cry you can hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Wow, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thanks, Buck.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Wow, that had me so close to tears, it's not even funny. Thank you so much for doing that for us and sharing that and honoring Jack in such a huge way. Thank you, Bug.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I was just kind of really feeling that song today, and you know, just kind of feeling like a more reserved version of it. You know, a little more, I don't know, hallowed, or you know what I'm trying to say.
I retract my previous words where I said that I already heard the best version of Hallelujah. I want you to sing this and record it.
I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, one piece of advice: don't ever spoil it by listening to Leonard Cohen perform it, because that's a truly atrocious version of Hallelujah that he does. But Bug, that was wonderful. Really, really, really touching. Really nice. Are you able to tell us about your IQ? I've been fascinated by this for a while, but I haven't ever got around to asking you.
Could we ask you and others what they think it means? Like, do they think it's a self-indulgent thing that I think I'm smarter than everyone else, or what could it mean? Now, for someone who knows, please don't say.
International questions.
Initially I thought maybe you, when I didn't know you, I thought, oh, maybe this guy's like got into Mensa and he's a bit proud of it. And then now I think maybe you might be mocking yourself having the IQ of a bug with some certain things.
Interesting take. I'm listening.
Any other suggestions?
I know it's international questions.
I'm not too sure, but when I think about a bug IQ and I think about the bug IQ that we've come to know and love, I always just think, you know, I don't see it as IQ really, but as I somehow draws me back to the bug's memory. And, you know, just like Bug lives in the moment and he's so forgiving and, you know, he just overlooks so many, how do I put it? Not overlooks, but he'd look past the flaws and see the beauty, see the flowers in the garden, you know. And that's what I think of when I think of the name now, as I get to know Bug a little bit more. But yeah, what it truly means, I have no idea.
Am I easy to get to know, Breeze, or not really? I've never really considered that question.
I think you are very reserved and the majority of the stuff that I have gotten to know you is getting a sense of the person who you are, not via what you have actually told me about yourself. You've told me a little bit about yourself, but you're quite reserved. But when I say get to know you, I'm talking about your actions, your deeds, the way you carry yourself across in a conversation, your absolute humbleness in your faith, beautiful things like that I have come to see like shining through the cracks, not exposed in direct conversations like, hey Breeze, I am religious, hey Breeze, I am a good person, hey Breeze, it was never conveyed directly from your side. So I think in that aspect you're a little bit reserved, but for those who want to see, they will.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it. I certainly don't push my faith on anybody. I think Mandel was really upset with me one day when I said I'm not trying to proselytize him. He's like, "What, dude? You're not trying to turn me into a Christian? What kind of a Christian are you?" I said, "Well, according to the Bible, he draws people by the Holy Spirit. So until he touches something in your heart, we really have nothing to talk about. Just relax and let's hang out." So it was kind of shocking for him.
So are you going to give us the real reason?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this. I'll give you a link to a post after I tell you what it's about, but the bug has nothing to do with an actual insect. The bug actually refers to bugging in or bugging out in a survival situation. So I'm always, prepared for just about any eventuality. There's two types of bugging. When you're thinking about being prepared for an emergency situation, you're either going to bug in, which is you're gonna stay in your home base. You're prepared. You've got your food stores. You've got extra gas and fuel. You have various ways of cooking, that type of thing. You're going to bug in. So you're digging in like a tick. You're burrowing in. You're ready to bug in and ride out that storm or whatever natural disaster. You've got guns and ammo if people are going to come and take your stuff, that kind of thing. And then if you're bugging out, a lot of people, every single person in this room has a bug out system. They just don't know it. Every day when you leave the house, you have a bug out system with you, whether it's whatever you have in your wallet or you have a spare key hidden on your vehicle somewhere or around your prop. You're always prepared to whatever extent you want to be prepared. So, we all have that instinct to survive. It's just some people think further ahead. Do you have 2 or 3 or 4 months of food supplies if there was a complete grid down situation, or do you just have a week and you trust all the supermarkets and nothing's ever going to happen to the infrastructure or the delivery systems that are available to us? So the IQ part was just getting smarter and learning more and being willing to be open about that. There's a reason I know how to cook a loaf of bread or a cake inside of a carbon steel wok. I figured out how to do all that stuff on my own because I was excited to be able to make a loaf of bread in the middle of the wilderness with a common carbon steel wok, $20 from Chinatown. So, I never really wanted to rely on regular delivery systems that are in place. So, I have a way of purifying water that's endless. I can pull water out of the creek next to me and purify it here at home. And I do a lot of industrial design on the side. So I
Blah 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 blah, Buck. Blah blah blah. Now straight to the point, Buck. Where is the Buck IQ standing for?
So with the industrial design stuff that I do, I created like a search and rescue vehicle for search and rescue, basically, and one of the Canadian colleges made that design last year. And so that's part of the IQ part, that I'm always thinking about how to do things better with, survival gear, that kind of thing. I'm going to make Savo an honorary Canadian. I'm so sorry. So I'll take questions or comments, yeah?
I'm so sorry, Buck. I'm so sorry.
Dude, you are so fucking high today. Just keep smoking whatever you're smoking. It's all...
Camel.
I think that's fascinating. I've got some big ideas on societal collapse. I tend not to talk about them on this show because it tends to sound a bit dark and cynical. But we can have a big chat about this. I think. Yeah, I'm going to have a read of that at some point as well. I don't know if anyone's got questions. What we could do is save the questions for the after party, and we could get you to tell us about your show that's coming up, yours and Snecky's show. Put up a link as well. But yeah, and then we've got the competition for the Guess the Flesh competitions. Then we can wind stuff up. I can make a cup of tea, and then we can all talk more about how it's all going to go to shit, because probably it will do, I think.
Tea, man.
So Bug. Now you and Snecky very quickly tell us about the show that's coming up in a bit.
Well, what's interesting is not only the show, but our server really resonates a lot with some of the things Breeze was sharing. About people who just drop their posts and all that kind of thing. There is no link. There is no room on our server to drop a link anywhere, Nick. There isn't. If there's a share the love room, if you want to share someone else's post, and then we just quietly go about our business with our curator token, which is just used by Snecky and Mandelsage, and we upshare people during the curation show with that token, which is it's worth, I think it's hitting at about 150 WLS, so it's kind of nice. We try to do 50% votes if we have a pretty full room, which we usually do.
Awesome. So you can get big rewards there in the show.
Yeah, we have. So on this curator token, we have about 24 or 25 accounts right now, all at varying percentages. And I think it's about 150. It might be a little higher now.
Nice. Okay, people. So if you want votes and to be part of a very friendly community, most of every time I come to your server, it's basically quite a cozy chat. Everybody sort of knows each other, so there's a nice cozy vibe, I would say.
Yeah, and there's two reasons for that. One is we don't have a link drop room where it's just, here's my shit, vote on it. And then the other reason is because the nature of how we set up the server is we don't have any spammers, because everybody lands in a locked room and then you're given the role of getting to know you. So it is very cozy. It's like, we're happy to let everyone in. If you're an asshole, we're happy to escort you out. No issues.
Sounds good. Okay, well, I can heartily recommend going to that show, which starts in about an hour, I guess, an hour from now.
Yeah, I think so. Snecky would know better than I would.
I am always lost with time zones, but yes, it starts in an hour.
Yep.
If we are ready, that is.
So here's the collage as well. To make it easier, there'll be a post tomorrow which will have the names included. You then get the names in the right order and you win the jackpot. All right, Zara, you missed it. This is the Guess the Flesh competition. Tomorrow there's a post by me and you will get the names of the people, but not the numbers. If you match the numbers to the names, you win the jackpot. I think it's upvotes to about, or tokens worth about 250 Whaleshares. So it's a decent prize. So have a look tomorrow. I'll message it to you if you want to have a go. DM if you send me your drill blast. That's what you need to do. Anyway, okay. Anything else? Okay, one last thing. If you want free tokens from Sevo, who is also Popo, send him a DM with your BitShares address, and he's going to send you some Airplay tokens for free. And I think that's pretty much it. Anything else from anyone?
I just want to know what we are looking at picture number 3.
Picture number 3 is...
It is on.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the dark. Okay, I've got it right.